Okay, we finally have everything set up.
It took a little bit.
It did. It's...
Alright, so, welcome everyone. Which camera are we on? Go to the other camera.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Alright, welcome everybody. For whatever weird reason, we decided to start streaming art, my paintings and stuff like that. For the heck of it.
Because his wife, aka my mother, wants him to relax and not hurt his neck anymore because it's more relaxing for him. He's lying to you.
All of that.
Anyways, hi, I'm here.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm a jerk. My daughter Sylvia, love of my life, is helping me today by being my camera person / mod. She'll also be letting me know.
Camera gal.
Gal, yeah, okay. I was trying not to, assume your gender, okay?
Really?
Anyways,
I am going to whoop you on the nose.
You're gonna boot me on the nose?
Yes.
Okay. Anyways, And the problem with painting is I can't really see chat. So Sylvia's going to tell me when someone messages us on chat if anyone starts watching this.
2 people are also watching, and I think that's a person.
You think that's a person?
Pensley Rock?
No, Pencil Rock is not.
Okay.
Or Pretzel Rock. That's the
like pretzel.
What? That's the name of it. That's the music player, dude.
Okay.
Okay? So, that's the name of the music player. It's just, all it's doing right now is telling you what song's playing.
Okay.
Alright, so, again, I am just putting the stencil on there for right now. And right now what I'm doing is putting some lint on the tape so it's not super sticky, because you want to be able to pull it off easy.
Okay.
Alright. Alright, so and as you can see, this is basically a woman's hips and where her uterus is that I'm going to be painting. But I need to cover this section of the stencil. So again, I put some lint on the tape and then cover it up so it doesn't, we don't get overspray, because I don't know if you can tell, but Sylvia has the Mac in a box because overspray goes absolutely everywhere. So if you don't want it painted, cover it somehow. I'm not that worried about the Steam Deck.
Game Deck will survive. From what I can see, it's pretty not waterproof, but spray proof.
It seems, yeah, I would assume. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is decide our outside color.
This camera is so perfectly centered that they cannot see me. Not even my hand.
Oh, okay. Alright. Go to the close-up of the painting. Okay, so don't want this one yet, simply because that's a really fine spray. We want a wide spray.
In the thing, yes, for the rhymes.
Oh,
rhymes
yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to.
Since she is on the platform. And I have a mascot now. Thank you, Mother.
Yes, thank you. You know, my daughter hasn't smoked a pack a day for the last 30 years. So we're just going to have her wear a mask just to be on the safe side. Maybe if I jack
And
up.
we put a window open.
See if we can jack up the air some.
Also,
That works a little better. That works better.
I
Okay.
would leave stream. Elizabeth Dutro said I would leave stream. Me doing one, but I have no camera to show both of me and the diamond table.
You've got a phone.
Yeah, that's his phone.
Well, the one in the very back, did you go back to the painting one?
Yeah.
So the big one that's showing my back, that's my phone.
And then the one showing the camera is, the painting is the actual thing.
Okay, good. Not to mention, all you have to do is ask. I have like 5 extra webcams.
You have like 5?
Yeah,
When did you get like 5?
and we've just built them up over time.
My question is does it sound okay with all the background noise?
I don't know. Your mom would have to. Mom or Elizabeth or someone would have to let us know.
Yeah, is it okay?
Yeah, I was afraid of that. The sparkle is making it difficult to paint. But, well, that's okay. That's okay. We got this.
Wow, all the lighting in this room goes to Vane on the camera.
Goes to what?
Goes to Vane. I also Elizabeth Dutro says I also have to clean a space too. So
What?
it'll be a while.
Yeah, that can be a problem.
The sound is fine, she said.
Okay.
Elizabeth Dutro.
Honey, we know who Elizabeth is. All you have to say is Elizabeth.
You can get a nice shot of your face in this painting.
What?
You had your face like this, and your face was just had a nice shot in the painting,
Oh. And part of the problem with airbrushing like this is that with airbrushing, the biggest time when it's easiest to screw up is when you first pull the trigger or when you first let go of the trigger. And because of the fact that this stuff is having a hard time spraying, I have to constantly do both of those. So you'll see like the little dots and stuff like that. I'm going to fill it in, make it darker, but that's kind of what happens. You spray too much at once, it fish eyes. Which, another problem is that I had to turn up the air pressure so that this stuff would spray through. But that also causes like the fish eyes and stuff like that to happen. Because you're spraying a bunch of wet paint and then blowing a bunch of air right in the middle of the wet paint, which causes it to spread out.
Also warning, if you want to do this, do not beat yourself up if it turns out bad. He has done this for years and he still makes mistakes.
I really, really do.
And there's also just some things that you cannot do. Like, I don't know, he cannot do the background, like I've been told.
Oh, like flat background? No, I suck at spray painting. Flat backgrounds.
Because the spray paint is a lot more finer.
Well, not only that, but you have to start off with nice, soft layers, and I'm too impatient for that. I suck at that.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I like starting off with gesso. Because you can just glop that stuff on there, spread it out, and you're good.
So do not beat yourself up if you cannot do spray painting on the first try.
Nope, just keep practicing.
Yep, he's been doing it for years.
I have. I've been doing it since I was 17, I think.
And you're like, what, 40?
46, so about 30 years I've been doing this.
Yeah.
If you're afraid to get paint on your fingers or on your clothes or pretty much on anything, make sure you put on some clothes that you don't care about, because you will get paint all over everything. As you can see, it's not really coming out.
But you're covering the half of that what you're painting.
What?
Your head was in front of that whole part.
Thank you. As you can see, it's not really coming out real well.
And you're doing it again. Yeah.
Oh. Is that still in the picture?
Mhm.
Okay. As you can see, the paint's not coming out real smooth. So this is the difficult part about this. See, it's times like this I kind of wish I sprayed with urethane paint, because I'd be more used to this action. Because if you just leave the trigger pull down with urethane paint, you'll just dry it right up.
Elizabeth said pretty purple color.
It is, actually. I kind of like it.
So while you do that, I'm going to go get my water bottle.
Go ahead. this. So I think the tip is... Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Alright, I have to fix the tip. There we go. It dried up on the tip. Not to mention, unfortunately, the tip of this is a little bit, just a tiny bit bent. So that affects its use, you know, how well it works as well. Yeah, let's turn it up some more. What was up, babe?
Is he out, please? I'm gonna shut the door. Okay, don't shut the door.
That's better. You know, I wasn't really wanting this background to be uniform, but holy crap, is this not working out well?
What?
I didn't want the background to basically be like, you know, absolutely solid. I wanted it to have kind of a mist look to it, but wow, this is not working out well. I'm really glad I didn't want it solid. That's working better now. Getting a little bit more of that mist look to it instead of streaky lines. Put just a little bit more reducer in it.
On the camera, this side looks kind of cool.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, because this side's not as dark yet. Working on it. Where did I put the reducer? Did you steal my reducer?
What?
Did you steal the reducer?
What's the reducer? I don't even know this.
I think you stole the reducer. Oh, no, there it is. Found the reducer.
I don't think you want to have it open. Sideways.
No, not really.
On the back of the paintbrush, it looks like a needle.
It is a needle. You got a needle that goes all the way through the brush.
Needles. Were you injecting someone with an airbrush?
No.
Funny enough, Elizabeth is the only person texting in the chat.
That's alright.
I have like the 4 platforms.
That's okay.
Viewers.
That's fine. I'd be painting no matter what, so. Kind of like the same as, when I'm streaming video games. I mean, I'd be playing video games anyways. Want this nice and wet.
Elizabeth says, "Oh wait, I may as well. Only way I'm able to talk."
The only way she's able to what?
Talk. I'm pretty sure they're still back on the thing with the other platforms.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because it's like they're back in time. They're back in time and we're in the future looking at their texts. Yeah, like, Mother, okay? You okay, Mother? Okay.
Alright, so we're going to let that rust. And we're going to clean out this other paintbrush, our airbrush real quick so it doesn't get all messed up.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Just float up into the air and go like, whoop. Gonna blow over your face. Gonna blow into your face.
No. Alright. And this is actually a very, very important step. Properly cleaning these out. Because obviously, maybe not obviously, but if you don't clean these out properly, and that was my finger. If you don't clean these out properly, they're not going to work the next time you go to use them.
You get like a camera right there so it's looking at you.
No one needs to see me.
Why not?
Because I'm kind of ugly. I don't want to scare people away.
No, you're not ugly. Stop it.
Can you get me the trash can, baby?
Roxanne?
Yes. It should be out. I think it's out in the main room.
Okay. What the fudge happened?
Hold on. This, I think, is one of the newer brushes. Alright.
Ow.
You okay?
Yeah.
Sure yourself?
No.
Okay, we're going to go a little bit more along the outside. Now it's great. Okay. What in the world? Okay, fine. Be that way.
I think, Elizabeth said Christmas or Christmas.
She said what?
I think Elizabeth said Christmas or Chrysler. I don't know. I've never read the word Christmas before.
Christmas. It's Christmas. That's how you spell Christmas, is basically Christmas.
Or Chris, then a T, then a moss.
We will start with that. It's actually kind of a Pepto pink, to be honest. But, that's actually okay.
A Pepto?
Yes.
What's that?
Pepto-Bismol is a medicine that we used to take long time ago. If you had an upset tummy. And it was very, very pink. Like, not in a good way either.
Is it not a good medicine?
It didn't taste good.
No medicine tastes good. Except the gummies.
Alright, and what we're doing right now is we're putting a nice dark line edge on it, but we're leaving the inside a little bit white. Give it kind of a three-dimensional look.
Elizabeth asks, who are you making that for, or is it just for fun?
It's just for fun.
Okay. Just in case you said it too softly, he said it's just for fun.
Yep.
Your head's covering the whole entire painting.
Oh. Well, you gotta tell me these things, dude.
I just told you.
Alright. So again, like I said, we're doing a nice dark pink line around the edges. And then we're kind of leaving the inside a little bit whitish. See, this is how it should spray. It should spray nice and smooth. I can do that right now because that's the stencil. Yeah, that actually is coming up. We're going to highlight it here in a minute with the red. That's one really good thing about airbrushing is it makes it exceedingly easy to blend different colors together. Just because there is no hard, I mean, you can do a hard border. It's difficult, but you can do a hard border. Alright, and we're going to do the darker red just along the outside a little bit. Not really showing anything, but could still get banned in Texas. It's okay. Or Florida.
Mother said yes, it's just for fun.
That's a mist. Alright, we're going to put just a little bit more red in it. There we go. And we're just going to do real fine detail. Real close to the edge of the stencil.
Mom, Father, you're kind of fine with me.
Can you see the painting okay now?
Yeah.
You're going to keep it nice and close to the stencil.
Oh no. That red looks a lot more redder in the camera.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. Looks like red. You know? Like the one that pops.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so now we're done. For a second.
Look at the camera, how it looks.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. Alright. So we're kind of done with that. So we're going to remove the stencil.
Let's see if it sticked okay. Like the stencil to the painting.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it did. But we got to do some work with it off the stencil. Because that's primarily what I do. I use stencils for like the outlines and stuff. But then I go back through and I paint after the stencil is done. Plus we have one more stencil to use.
Let's hope it's clean. I don't know how you get the stencils to stick so much.
Well, that's that techie stuff that I bought. I'll explain the meaning behind this painting when I'm done painting it. If anyone really needs it, I'll go ahead and explain that. But I'll be honest, most people probably won't need it.
Although it has been an hour.
It's been an hour. Okay. That's not too bad. We're doing pretty good work. We're doing pretty good. There we go. Alright, now. Can you see the painting okay in the thing? Honey, can you see the painting okay?
Yeah.
Alright, now if you look, there's a tiny bit of overspray there and a tiny bit there, but that's not necessarily bad because we can use this for shadowing. Now this actually turned out relatively exactly how I want it, with it nice crisp lines and stuff. And now what we're going to do...
Are you done your painting for now?
No, why?
I mean, like, take a break.
What, you think we should take a break?
I don't know. Like, maybe eat something.
Maybe.
What had
Let me-
we eaten today?
Mommy made dinner.
True.
Now the trick is, I mean, you can definitely use stencils and stuff like that, but you want to make it look like it wasn't a stencil, so you have to go back in.
Your head's covering the thing.
You want to go back in and fill in, there we go. Fill in the breaks that you made for the stencil. What in the hell? There we go. Can you still see the painting okay?
You're covering it again.
What?
Okay. Your head's covering it a little bit.
Alright. So, as you can see, there's still some white right here. Where the, where the center of the uterus is. Because we want it to look like a 3D object. I'm going to go back a little bit later with some white and fill it in just a little bit. But one thing that's kind of important that we need to touch up is if you look, the bottom of her pelvis seems like a very flat object because we do not have creases in it. And I purposely put the creases of her legs on there on purpose, and we're just gonna lightly dust that so I can go back later and shade. Yep, perfect. Okay, and the other thing I probably should do, I'm not going to do it in red, but I can just dust it so we can kind of get a general idea. And if you're bad at proportions, stencils are your friend. I mean, I'll be honest, when you're doing airbrushing, anytime you want like a hard line, you have to use some type of stencil, whether it's a freehand stencil or, and when I say freehand, I'm talking like just general shapes. People will use just general shapes to get curves and stuff like that. This is a good example of that. Like general shapes to get curves and stuff like that. You put it down there and you spray around it for the curve, or you'll use a stencil like this. I do a little bit of both. But see, I kind of tack that on there just a little bit, just barely dust it, so that way you know where the belly button is later when we do more painting. Alright, we're going to let this sit for a second. We're going to do a real quick cleanup of the badger. So that's what I'm probably going to spend or use for the rest of the painting.
Also, if you're wondering what any of these colors, and Father forgot to mention them,
thanks for calling that out.
Please ask in the chat if you want to know any of these colors. If you do airbrushing or you do painting, please ask what the colors are if you're interested in them.
Well, the problem is that the airbrush colors aren't good for hand painting because they're too thin, so they can go through the airbrush. But I mean, I can still give them the colors that I'm using.
Yeah. Or like if they're doing airbrushing. If you guys have any questions, please put them in the chat. If Father's not explaining, okay.
Alright, we're going to start with couple we have. Everybody knows that's the crease into the pelvic area.
If you draw or do painting, you
And this can still get clogged up a little bit. Alright, what we're doing right now is we're kind of blending that crease in. Of the body. Giving a nice shadow effect. Because what we're doing right now is we want it to look like the light is coming from the front. So we want to shadow the sides a little bit. Make it, because of course your thighs and your hips curve outward and round, so we want it to look like it's curving. And we're just going to layer texture in there. Same thing on this side. I mean, I could have taken like a focal point and had like come from the side or something like that. But I mean, to be 100% honest, there's really not much point. Because this isn't real, we're not trying to get real hard into realism here. We just want it to look like a 3D image. No, we're going to leave that. So, now, again, we're not going hard into the realism of the uterus because, let's be honest, you can't really see the uterus from the outside of the body. But we're just going to give a little bit of details.
You are covering the picture. Upper, on the upper, like, things, like, up there, do more of a lighter shade, like you have, what you're doing.
Wait, what?
You see how you're doing, like, a very light shade on the top?
Mm-hmm.
I suggest, doing that for, like,
the top instead of doing a darker shade? Mm-hmm. That's what I was doing, dude. Always a critic. Everybody's a critic. Okay. I think we're actually pretty good. I'm not trying to make this too unrealistic. I mean, I'm not trying to give her abs or any of that crap. Just a general shape. Most women don't have six-pack abs and all this other stuff. So, and that's kind of what we're trying to do, is represent the general person, not... Oh, I am so physically fit.
What did you say? Say it again. You didn't pick it up.
I said, we're trying to do the look of a general normal person. Not, oh, I'm so physically fit that, I've got muscles for days. And see, doing the sealers and the transparents actually gave us a real nice blended look that I kind of like. I have another painting called, it's a recreation of a succubus from the first D&D manual. It's one of my absolute favorite paintings or pieces of art that I do. And I do a lot of that as well. The colors aren't so much black as just darkened, and that's primarily the whole picture is just darkened colors on white, and it turns out pretty well, I think. Clean this out real good, get the black out of it. Alright. Now, what we're going to do is this little bit here. Okay. Kim, I need skizzers. Kim.
You need skizzers.
I do. So we want this to kind of sit here, but if you see, this part hangs down too far. So instead of fussing with, folding it and doing any of those things that could possibly cause problems when spraying it, we're just going to cut it. So that way it feeds. Andy feeds. Partly because you're a child, and that's the stuff that you're into, and that's fine. All right. Yep, that's gonna go up to the belly button. That's kind of what I thought was gonna happen. I was kind of hoping it wouldn't, but it does, so that's okay. Alright, so what we're going to do, because this is a tree, is we're going to get some brown, transparent brownish. Alright, and you can tell how much I use brown. It's still literally got the original seal on it. And this is Auto Air Colors Transparent Beige. Beige my butt, that is brown. Alright. Oh, really? Did I get any paint on you?
No, I did not see.
Okay.
If you did, it got on my shirt. It did get on my shirt.
It did get on your shirt. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So, note to everybody, make sure you thoroughly close the lids before you shake up paint.
everyone tries to do that.
What?
I think everyone tries to do that.
Yeah.
Got 3 specks on your painting.
That's not really on the painting. That's on the stencil, which is okay.
It's not really on the painting, but there's like 3 specks. Just pointing that out. 3 specks.
I probably just put way too much paint in there, but that's okay. Because we're just doing this area. Okay. Shake it up. Wow, I got paint all over everything. Namely myself. Okay. Why is it whistling and spitting? Oh, because I have it really high from when I was doing the... There we go. When I was doing the... Oops.
Father, you're kind of covering the painting.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Now, if you don't use some type of adhesive spray, you're kind of stuck holding down little segments of your stencil as you're painting, because it'll lift and you'll get paint underneath it. Unless that's what the look you're going for, it's not really what you want to do. some freehand. That's not too bad.
Can the camera please focus? The stupid painting. There you go.
This paint is a little bit on the watery side for me.
Oh God, you scared me.
Sorry. Let's try this. Less air pressure.
Remember to not try to not drop your paint on the ground. It might get all over the floor.
Especially if you accidentally step on it.
All of you, please follow that. And Father, please follow that.
Yep, I'll work on it.
After we're done streaming, I want to hear a story about what the fudge happened to that window. Cause it looks like the screen was torn off. You know?
It kind of was, I think.
Can I have the story after the stream, please?
We'll see.
Since it's gonna be since after 20 minutes, it's gonna be we will be streaming for 2 hours after 20 minutes. Yeah.
Can you still see it okay, man?
Yeah.
Okay, now one thing to understand is I've turned down the air pressure a lot simply because this paint is so watery. It's the only way to kind of stop it from getting sprayed all over the place. Don't do that.
Why not?
I kind of don't like the way that it ran down here. ahead and fill in these gaps. So. That's been around since, I'm sure, long before I was even a kid. Strength of your arms.
Because, like, when the referee counts, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know? And then they're down, that's kind of like how you do a thumb wave.
Yep. Alright, so let's add just a tiny bit of black to this so we can highlight it. Maybe thicken it up. Because holy crap, is that watery.
Yeah, it's see-through. Not look like it on the camera, but it's see-through.
A little bit more transparent base.
You really need to clean up your paint one of these days, you know?
Yeah.
Like, because those lids that are keeping it, you know, matte are really, like, dirty. I've never gone over the human anatomy on how it looks. And I'm assuming it's part of the girl anatomy?
Yes. This is the part where the baby is at when it gets pregnant.
That's really small.
It is.
That means we have to be like this tiny.
But the great thing is it stretches.
That's not really great for the girls. It's great for the child, not the mother.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's one way of looking at it. Can you see the painting?
Yeah.
Clean out the tip real quick because it is clogged. Yeah, it's clogged really bad.
You can hear it.
Yep. There you go.
Maybe they can't hear it, but you can hear it.
Yep.
I want to sing songs, but I don't know if they're copyrighted.
Well, then let's not.
That's why I'm not. Loud enough for them to hear it. I hate copyright.
Well, I mean, if you made a song, you deserve to be paid for it.
Yeah. But then when you want to sing something, right? Then glad. Unless you don't want to be paid for it. You know, paid for the video. Or sometimes the copyright is like, you know, sometimes you can set the copyright to like, if you sing a song or do like something, you know, it's getting really absurd. Okay? The reason why, it's getting, on YouTube, I'm heard some things that they're taking it too far, you know?
Well, it might be. I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on that because I don't really make music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the thing I heard on YouTube isn't music. It's reaction videos. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know if it's true. If I find out it's true, I'm gonna be so mad.
I can see your point, but the thing that you gotta realize is most of the reaction videos aren't really making anything.
Mm-hmm.
They're just reacting to things that other people made. And if that's all you're doing, and you're making money off of it, shouldn't the person that you're reacting to get paid for that? See what I'm saying?
Yes and no.
Okay. I'm listening.
So, okay. So I saw, okay. From what I've heard, okay, on YouTube, I don't know if it's true, but if it's true, somebody I'm pretty sure got like banned off of YouTube for, I think it was VTubing?
What is VTubing?
Using a 3D model that you commission, or a 2D model that you have commissioned somebody to make, and then, or you make yourself, you know, like a drawing, or blah. Or there's also gotcha tubing, using a gotcha tubing model, you know.
Okay.
Gotcha tubing is, blah.
I know, it's what you generally do.
I'm generally do it because it has
Or
to track
Alex.
you or whatever. There's gotcha tubing or, there's also a difference between gotcha tubing is having it, follow you, rigging it so it follows you, but there's also another thing where you just like put a picture up, of the model you're using.
Right.
Whenever you like speak in flags. It's a whole other universe, okay? It's complicated. And yeah, I think it was like I think I got meh. But the thing is, if they got like if YouTube takes it too far, the thing is, they got like canceled for something that like is absurd.
Well, one thing you have to understand about stuff like this
Mm-hmm.
is there has to be a rule, right?
Mm-hmm.
And someone is always going to complain that either the rule is too strict, while other people complain the rule is not strict enough. So the question is, and this is hard, because you know what, you'll learn when you get older and you become a parent. It's the same thing.
I'm not going to become a parent.
Okay, well then don't. That's up to you.
But the problem is, I'm afraid YouTube will, because if they take it too far, that will mean they'll probably, because memes,
Mm-hmm.
memes are memes, the whole part of memes is you do the same thing, or you make your own twist to it.
Right.
If they do, the problem is, my worry is if they take it too far, you can't do memes anymore. Oh.
Well, I don't know if they'll take it that far. And I don't. Because that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah. Just like some people, like people are, I'm not going to say on stream.
I need a texture board.
What's a texture board?
I'll show you when I find it.
I'm just like,
Go ahead, what were you saying?
I'm afraid people will start getting canceled or copyrighted for doing memes because YouTube or people.
Mm-hmm.
Because people, if they do it, have the option to copyright their content. Okay?
Okay.
Uh-huh. You see the problem?
I mean, I don't really see how you want to copyright memes.
Well,
Because, it's not really original content.
well, they can make it so people are not allowed. Well, what I'm saying is like people are not allowed to do it, or they'll be in trouble.
Right.
I don't think.
Okay, so we have two different texture boards. That is a texture board. See, that is a texture board. And that is a texture board.
I'm sorry for all the people who have a phobia of holes.
Yeah, if you got a phobia of holes, sorry.
If you have a phobia of holes, please do not watch us painting.
So what we're going to do is we're going to use the texture board to create the leaves.
That was so annoying.
Sorry.
Just
Actually, is this the best green class? I don't really want candy. No, wait, yeah, maybe we'll do.
But also there's copyright enough to like you get banned, I'm pretty sure.
Which one do you think? Well, let me mix this up. Which one do you think? Darker or lighter?
For what?
Leaves.
Both.
Both. Okay.
Different variety of the leaves
Yeah.
is often good to define the leaves with a darker color, you know?
Yep.
But still being a part of the leaves.
Okay. So I'll just use a tiny bit. Let me put the backpack on before I stab myself in the hand with this thing.
That's always good
Yep.
to not do.
Wow. I did not put enough in there.
Enough what?
Paint.
Yeah. Looks very.
Well, we're going to be layering it, so we want it to look
Oh.
kind of transparent a little bit.
We have been live for 2 hours.
Good.
So then what do we, so like what else do we do for 2 hours?
And I'm not done with this yet.
What would happen if you finish the painting before 2 hours?
Then we end the stream.
And then work on the next stream?
Maybe. The mic is right there. Make sure whatever you're singing you can sing.
Hmm?
I said the mic is right there, so make sure whatever it is you're singing you can sing.
I'm not singing. I'm not singing it loud enough, I don't think. Be careful on what you say, Alex.
Please.
Go. Pain. That's your pain. Really is. As you see, I have my little area. Be careful.
Can you see the painting okay, Sylvia?
Yep.
Alright. Now we will not twist myself up in the thing.
Through the universe with Facebook and YouTube too. We're all painting all through.
What are you singing?
My own song I'm just making up.
Okay.
Making a theme song. Okay.
Making a theme song.
Yeah.
Okay.
All through on Facebook and YouTube. Through and through.
Alright, so that one's done.
I'm the camera gal. He's the one actually painting. I make sure the video looks good for all of you. We're going through an adventure with my father
scared the heck out
and
of me.
you. What?
I thought the paint had blood. That's actually tape.
We're all going to be together through and through on this adventure.
Alright.
Just make sure not to curse or make sure to follow the rules. Just so you can be here with us too. We're going on an adventure with me and you. We also got my dad here.
I'm kind of the one doing the painting, dude.
We're on adventure together.
That was a good idea, by the way.
What?
That was a good idea, by the way.
What?
Having two different colors.
Yeah, I usually do that with the grass and trees. Just to make sure it's more defining. With just making sure it's not just like one whole bush, you know?
That's
It's
true.
actually leaves. Do 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 do. We're in the room of adventures with the painting right now. So many things will be created with you and me and my father too. And my father too. We're
All right.
on
What do you think?
an adventure. Looks really nice.
Okay. We're gonna go back over it with some white. Just for the.
If this sounds good, and I'm gonna go back to this stream specifically, and I'm gonna write down the lyrics, and you're gonna sing it with me, and we're gonna make it our theme song.
Okay. You realize Daddy's not very good at singing, right?
Father?
Okay. Not arguing. I was just pointing out a fact. You want to argue? Nope, not happening. Not happening.
You don't even have to sing, you just have to say, okay?
Okay. That I might be able to do. Without making people's ears bleed.
I'm gonna kill you.
Nephew.
What do you do?
Alright, let me see.
On adventure.
Yeah,
and
we want to go
adventure.
back over with some white.
Ooh, and this.
And one thing about airbrushing is when you're doing it, half of the work, well, I won't say half of the work, but part of the work is kind of going back over it to, like, straighten up your lines and any overspray and stuff like that. That way it looks crisp. I can't tell you the amount of paintings and stuff like that I've seen where, like, it's just overspray all over the place. And they're like, oh, that's part of the art. No, you could have cleaned that up. And you could have. You could have cleaned that up. You know, there's no reason why you didn't clean that up. Other than you're being lazy.
We're under the tree of life, eating some apples while painting.
There we go.
Just make sure they're not. Just make sure you're learning something while you're watching. Teach you things about airbrushing. Airbrushing and painting. Make sure to not spill your paint.
Yeah, that would kind of suck.
Putting down this song. You sang that when I say that, 'cause that's catchy. We'll make the theme song with you. Do 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 do. I'll read out your chat so you're heard. While we paint, we can talk to you. This is a chill space, and it's safe for everyone.
I'm not going to be able to paint every stream, though. Because, like, seriously, it takes time to put a painting together. But I mean, we'll see what we can do. Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
You're stealing your words. You won't be here every stream,
holy
but
smokes.
make sure we'll be here once in a while, maybe a week.
Yeah, I'm thinking like one painting a week should be good.
Yeah. Maybe every week.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll be up and down and everywhere, here and there and up there. Every time
Up where?
you see us. Up. What do you mean?
Up where? You said up there or up where?
On a tree.
On a tree?
On the life tree.
Okay. Yeah. It's a good place to be, dude. Alright. This is actually called, I'm going to massacre this pronunciation. So, don't come after me on this one. Yeldrasil.
Yeldrasil?
Something like that. Let's put it that way. Something like that.
We'll make sure
Yeldrasil?
Just make sure you don't repeat the words if we do.
So, it is the Tree of Life. I do believe this is where the last two people...
Daniel Carrick and Sylvia Carrick is...
That names. Names.
Names?
No names.
Okay. Sylvia
Dude,
and Daniel
really?
is not... What?
Dude, really?
Sorry. Sylvia and Daniel, right? Daniel?
Yes.
Sylvia and Daniel is not responsible for you summoning a demon. Anyways.
You cannot summon a This is the Tree of Life. Okay, this is not that type of paganism.
Yeah. I don't know what you're gonna say in the stream. Or what you're gonna paint. You know? Like.
What? Wow, I need to clean these airbrushes. Okay.
I cannot think of any other words for the song. Also, these are looking pretty good. Yeah.
I hope so.
You cleaning up it up?
Yep, just cleaning up the edges. I really think I should have reduced this some more.
Also, something that might flip from stream. I don't want to connect it to my YouTube channel. Flip. I'll tell you after the stream.
What is going on?
What?
It's getting silly. It's just clogging up real bad.
Ooh, there's paint. Like dry paint.
Yep.
Why is there dry paint? I have a question.
What?
Is the airbrush like blowing air, like the paint, so the paint can come out? Does it like dry faster?
Yes.
Is that how it like dries in 2.3 seconds?
Takes a little bit longer. If we were doing urethane paint, that would dry really quick. There we go.
What do you think we should paint next? On adventure, what will we paint next? We already painted the live tree. Ooh. this make our theme song. This is gonna be so childish for what we usually talk about.
Meh.
Yeah.
I don't understand why this is caking up so bad.
With Sonia and Daniel, you'll have a great time. Maybe our mother too. Maybe my mother
Probably not.
too. Maybe. Like just mother pops in time to time. Yeah?
Yeah, she doesn't really like being on camera.
Yeah. Hey, but at least we know the setup.
Yeah. This is true.
So we won't have to scramble to find, you know.
This is true too.
You can see the lines with the white paint. Hours of photo. Stephen Stewart, 2 hours and 24 minutes and 30 seconds. What?
I'm just looking at it from the camera point of view.
Tree of life. Do you think the next painting should just paint the tree of life alone? Like grass or space?
I mean, I guess we could. The whole reason why I wanted to do this was because of the symbolism of the tree and the uterus together. There we go.
I'm gonna bring up something because it just went up to my mind. Fun fact about bees, the bees you normally see are never boys because the girls rule the beehive.
Yep.
And like, the girls I'm pretty sure just throw the boys out of the hive after they get pregnant.
No,
Yeah,
I
no.
don't think so. Yeah, I know. Could we consider it retro art if there's like paint all over the computer case?
No.
No?
I don't do Alan Polk.
It's not Alan Polk.
Whatever.
Alright, so that's
Not
actually
bad.
spraying pretty well. There we go. Check that out. Just cover it right up. And we still have all of the other stencils, so this will not be a problem to just repaint. And I really, really was not overly enthused with the way the two stencils came together. So, I mean, I'm just going to have to, you know what, let's completely remove this. Remember, when it comes to white, white is very difficult to spray continuously because you are literally just moving around like solid particulates. Let me go get my cleaning stuff. I'll be right back. Alright, now you saw how it was laying down a nice smooth pattern and then it started doing less and less and less. Well, that's part of the problem with doing white. And I'll be honest, I try really hard to do as little white as possible. I try and cover with gesso mostly, and then go back and, you know, do the white if need be, but I try not to most of the time. There we go. Huh, why is air coming out of there? So I also want to explain another thing as well. You know, the question, there might be the question of why is the design of the woman's body just white? Like there's no pigment, stuff like that. And the reason why is the woman's body is just the design. It's not the focal point. The focal point is supposed to be the treated life in the uterus. Mainly because without the uterus there is no life. And that's kind of the point of this. Alright, we're gonna let me We want this to be a cover-up, which means you shouldn't really notice it a whole lot. There we go. Oh. I'll go back over that later. We really want to lighten that a little bit. That's not bad. Okay. Alright, so I think, you know what, we're going to wait. So I can put on just another wet layer of white over there. I mean, it looks pretty good. Let's cover up some of the little bit of the green overspray real quick. Unfortunately, this is kicking out a lot from the side. So, but I mean, we're gonna redo all of this white, right, or all the brown. So, shouldn't be too big of a deal. I use this primarily for cover. Just getting, like, I would have used this for. Actually, I'm gonna need to use this for the purple because there's white overspray on it. But that's okay. Alright, we're going to give it a second. A little bit more paint up here. Really spitting on the side there. Sorry. There we go. So here you can see a good head-on view of it. You can see I've kind of misted the base of the tree itself with a little bit of the itself with a little bit of the I don't even know what just fell. Oh, I do know what just fell. It was the thing full of cleaner. We're just giving this a chance to dry real good. Okay. Actually, the pressure on that feels really high. If you look, which camera? That one. If you look, I've actually got right here where my pinky is. It's an adjustment nozzle to adjust the pressure of the air coming out. So by spinning that, I can adjust. I can adjust it on the main compressor as well. But here, with that where my pinky is, I can actually spin that to even give it greater adjustment capabilities. Alright, so we are going to put, that is not dry. Alright, we're going to let it dry a minute longer. I did put a lot of paint down, so it's not very surprising. And we're going to use our arrow to work on this, which I didn't use last time. I wanted to use my new Badger, and that did not work out so well. And I mean, most of the airbrushes I use are kind of, you can't say entry level, because I mean, okay, like these master airbrushes are entry level. The inside of them aren't polished smooth. You can have a lot of issues with them. These are entry level. I do use them some because, I mean, they are throwaway brushes. You can easily just, do whatever with them. The Patriot ones are a little bit more... The Patriot, the Arrow, are a little bit more mid-level. I mean, they do have, like, high-level Bosch. You can spend like $500 or more on an airbrush. I'll be honest, I don't make that much money off of my art, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me to do. Alright, we do not want to use the transparent, so we're going to put that back. Just because simply, no, that did not work at all for us. Transparent black wasn't too bad. That gave us a nice blending tone. But as far as the tree itself, I think we're gonna go with yeah. I think we're using the Auto Air Colors semi-opaque dark brown. I think that's going to be the key here that we're looking for. Is just that dark brown look. So my concept that I want to do, and we'll see how well it works, is I'm going to redo the uterus, right? And then I'm going to take this, and instead of having, what is it, like this? Yeah, it's like this. Instead of having these roots, just coming down willy-nilly, I'm actually just going to paint to where the uterus is and kind of look like the roots are wrapping around the uterus and kind of integrate with the uterus is what I'm looking for and hoping for. We'll see. It is, I'm pretty sure you can see from the side view, it is still a little bit dark, a little bit wet. That's okay. And the other thing to take into consideration as well is different lighting factors. We can go about different lighting factors, and this is kind of like what it would look like in different lighting aspects, and that really does make a difference. to the paint. I normally just keep it on like a white, like this. But sometimes I like to play around with it and see what it would look like with different colors, different lights. And of course, I mean, in a way, the phone and the webcam, this one here, are going to kind of adapt for that and try and fix it. But I will sometimes just go through different lighting aspects and see what it looks like under different tones. I mean, granted, there's not a whole lot of time when you're going to have like a dark blue light or like a purplish light. But I mean, meh. We'll see. But let's go back to the... I don't know. It's almost like the white isn't really white. It's more like, I don't know, midday is white. And what I'm using for lighting is kind of like a... Oh, hell. It's a fish tank light. A 125 gallon fish tank light. We had a spare one left over. And I decided, you know, that's a really good simulation of different lighting effects. And it's got a remote so I can change the lighting. Still a little bit wet. I mean, you can kind of see it. But when we start getting the arrow ready for, you know, the paint. So obviously the biggest thing that we want to do now is get the uterus back where it belongs. And to do that, it was a combination of flame red and just a little bit of white to make a nice subtle pink. Oh, I'm sorry. It was mostly red, mostly white with a little bit of red to make a nice subtle pink. You know, you kind of put mostly white, jack in just about a drop of red, and then of course put your reducer in, which I can never find. There it is. As you might realize by watching my stream, I have a touch of ADHD. It is what it is. You know, constantly losing stuff. It's okay. Alright. Mix this together real good. And with these cups, all you're really doing is just putting it in and mixing it up by hand. I mean, you can. There we go. You can, you know, pre-mix it if you want. Like if there's a specific color that I will use a lot, that's a mix of colors, I'll pre-mix them, kind of put them in a bottle and see how that goes. But like this one here, I think it needs just a touch more red, because it's good, but I mean, if you can see, I don't know if you can see, it's very, very pink. So we want just a little bit more red. I mean, it's supposed to look like an organ, you know. Just a little bit more red. I mean, yeah, we want it to be nice and pink and everything like that, but it's supposed to look a little bit realistic here. Let's see, how does that look? There, that's a little bit better. Yeah, that's close to the original. That's pretty close to the original. Okay. So, what we're going to do is we're going to put our original stencil back up here. try and line it up as best as we can. Alright, and another added thing, you know, I wanted it to be as anatomically accurate as possible. So I put the canals in. And I'm going to remove the canal. Simply because me and my wife were talking about it, and she is my best critic. And she asked if they were really necessary. And I'm like, I mean, not really. I mean, I don't think it takes away from the painting not having them there. So as long as I can get the shape of the uterus correct, you know, by removing them, it shouldn't be a big deal. And it kind of puts more focus on the uterus than the other part, which has absolutely nothing, well, the other part has to do with the act of creating life, but not creating life itself. So, and that's kind of what I want to focus on, is creating life. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and pull away a little bit. I mean, we want a nice defined shape to it. And again, we're going to leave the center with that haze of white just to give it more of a 3D effect. And again, this is just kind of the outline of it. We're going to do some more detailing. There we go. Alright, so kind of connect the areas where the stencil broke it off. I think I have this a little bit high. Let me see. It's still a little bit high. A little bit high. There we go. Alright, so when you're doing these real fine bits, you want the pressure pretty low. You still want it to come out, but you're real close. You're real close, so you don't want to blow your peen out with the air pressure. Alright. So as you can see, we got the uterus. You know, let's round out the uterus a little bit. There we go. All right. turn that up just a touch. There we go. Alright, so we've got the general shape of the uterus. So blend this in real good. Now, one thing to remember is when you mix paints, you may not always get the best blend. So you want to use that to your advantage. You know, like if it's coming out a little bit lighter than the rest of it did previously, like this is just slightly lighter than the original came out, use that to your advantage. You know what I'm saying? Alright, so as you can probably see here, it's a little bit of spray over. I'll go ahead a little bit when I go back to the white and spray over that. But I think, well, let's give it a second. And I'll add more red to the pink and kind of do an outline. Just empty out a little bit of the pink out of our airbrush, and then go ahead and put in a couple more drops of red to give us a nice dark hue. And if anyone's wondering what got me into airbrushing, I don't even know. Hey, there's Elizabeth, daddest of dads. Thank you both. I apologize, guys. I don't have someone watching chat for me today. But hey, sweetie, how are you doing? And daddest of dads, thank you very much. I'm working on it. I did it originally. It didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. So, we're fixing it. Let's put it that way. Because I'll be honest, when I have a picture in my mind of what I want something to look like, if it doesn't come out that way, it just drives me up a wall. So, we're fixing it. Now that is still really, really pink. What is going on? I put more red in it. And this is my problem with not having someone helping me today. Alright. That's okay. Everybody's busy. What's up?
Seem to need something.
What?
Just seem to need something.
I don't know. I don't think I do, to be honest. Yeah, I made a mess. I'm sorry. Alright, that's a little bit better. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I can still see it. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to bump the camera there. So, one of the reasons why I like airbrushing so much more than painting is because the ability to blend and have artistic effects. I'm going to stab myself with that needle a little bit. Problem with using an airbrush is it is a mechanical thing that you're putting air and paint through. Paint likes to dry with air. So, makes things difficult at times. But the effects can be outstanding if you do it right. Like when I was younger, I did a heart. And it turned out pretty good. Which I guess I learned later from other people. It's very hard to paint with brush simply because of the fading and different colors blending together. And because this is a natural vessel, you don't really want to have any real hard lines to it. There we go. Yeah, I thought there was a drop there. There we go. Alright. So we've got our general uterus type of, design there. What we're going to do now is kind of highlight it by putting a lot more red in with the white to give it, more of a vascular look to it, or attempt to. That's the plan. Let's put it that way. All right, a little bit of reducer. And for anyone that knows anything about airbrushing and they see this, they're like, that doesn't look like normal reducer. You're absolutely correct. That is not normal reducer. That is Windex, half Windex, half water with a couple drops of glycerin. Because if you're like me and you paint a lot, you go through reducer like quickly, a lot. And I got really tired of paying for like $20 a bottle. So I found out how to make my own. And it actually turned out, it works pretty well. So, yeah, I'm definitely using my own reducer here. There we go. That's almost completely red. That's what we want. Alright, so... just want to take that red and kind of go along the edge. And what we're doing here is we're creating a kind of like shading without shading, actually shading. And yes, just so you know, we are going to go back through with the white and kind of clean that up a little bit. Oh, I hear a kitten. Someone is going to accuse me of trying to get, cheap views by having a little bitty kitty cat on my stream. And you know what I say to that? Look at the kitty. Look at the kitty. Look at the kitty. I don't know, can you even see him? Mm-hmm. Look at the kitty. He's so cute, yes. Meow. Meow. We got a new kitten. It's actually technically for our daughter Alex. But I mean, just like with... no, it's okay. Don't shake. It's okay. Just like with all pets. Yes, it's one specific person's, but it's kind of for the entire house. I know, right? Everybody loves kittens.
Go back to painting.
But the kitten.
Yeah, well, I'm babysitting, so.
But the kitten. See? Even the kitten's like, no, give me back. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, a little bit of overspray there. I'm going to have to clean that up later. And one thing when you're doing art, for it to look even semi-realistic, you gotta remember layers. Just putting like one layer of paint, you have a flat object, it doesn't look right, you know, all of that. And again, I mean, we got some stuff to clean up. It's not a big deal. We'll go through, clean that up later. Alright, so I think we're primarily done with the uterus section of it. Let me see if I can give you guys a better... Actually, the overhead's probably a better... There we go. Alright, so we've got a good set for the uterus. I mean, like I said, we've got to clean up a little bit. But, you know, absolutely, you know, a good start. I will go with that. What I want to do now is let that dry just a little bit. I mean, it's not too big of a deal. But I want it to dry just a little bit. And then we can go ahead and put the tree of life back down, finish putting the roots in and stuff like that. And I'm going to go ahead and curve them around the fallopian tubes and the uterus itself. And that way it actually looks like it's part of one cohesive painting instead of just two, you know, stencils wrapped on top of each other. Because that's not really the look we want to have. You know, obviously. You know, I will be honest, I think part of the thing that I like is the fact that I can take stencil art and make it not look like stencil art. Which, I mean, and there is a big fan base for stencil art. And I mean, I respect that. But at the same time, to me, just taking a stencil, throwing it down on a canvas, painting it, and calling it art, at that point, the majority of the skill is actually in making the stencil itself. Which, I mean, where that's fine. Believe it or not, a lot of people don't make their own stencils, so what's the point? And I mean, there is something to be said for stencil making. That's not easy. I mean, I made all of these stencils myself. All of them that I'm currently using. I have made paintings from pre-existing stencils. I mean, of course, I still add to them and stuff like that, but you're supposed to. And I have made stencils of pre-existing art that I've done. And that I kind of like to do too. Just, hey, can I take this really cool painting that someone else made and kind of create a stencil so I can recreate their painting and have it look good. I mean, that's obviously the trick, right? Having it look good. And I've done a pretty good job of that so far on a couple of paintings. You know, I can honestly say, I got kind of lucky. Because when I was a kid, when I was younger, I should say, 17, 18, 19 years old, I had actually sold a few paintings for a decent amount of money. And then because, you know, you have responsibilities and kids and all that other fun stuff, I had to quit painting. And when my current wife, we got together, and she found out about that, she was livid. Like, she was very, very angry. So she's like, no, you're going to go back to painting. This is something that you enjoy doing. And this is, you know, she didn't even know if I did it well yet, to be honest. She really didn't. She's like, this is something you enjoy doing, And, you know, if you do it well, that's awesome. And this, that, and the other. And so I'm like, okay. I'll go back to painting. And, you know, I was painting for a little while. And I was painting clouds. And I got very frustrated. Because before I quit painting, I was actually doing airbrushing. And airbrushing clouds is cake. Like, 5 minutes, you're done. You know, that's how easy it is to airbrush clouds. And I'm trying to do it by hand, right? And and I'm getting very frustrated. And I'm like, you know, I really wish I had an airbrush, blah, 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 blah. But when I was 16, 17 years old, there was no such thing as low pressure, high output airbrushing. You know, you had to have a big compressor and all that stuff, so airbrushing was very expensive. I actually had to use someone else's setup. When I was younger, I worked at a paint shop. Had to use someone else's airbrush setup to paint. And she's like, well, why don't we look into airbrushing? I'm like, no, that's way too expensive, blah, 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 blah. And my wife, in her infinite wisdom, looked it up. Like, legit. She's like, no. You know, you might be right. That's cool. We're going to look this up. She did. She looked it up. And we found this new system called LPHP or something along those lines, where you've got these little bitty airbrushes that just work off of this teeny tiny compressor. And she found a whole set for $100. Obviously, it's not the set I have now. It was different, you know. The compressor wasn't as high quality as what I have now. The brushes weren't as high quality, but it was a place to start. And that's kind of the thing. So that's kind of how I got back into airbrushing. Is this the wrong way? No, that's not the wrong way. That's the right way. Perfect. All right. And since then, I've had a little bit of success with it. I have sold a couple of paintings. I was doing t-shirts for a while, which wasn't really what I wanted to do, but we went to a couple like comic book conventions and stuff like that and did pretty well. You know, sold some paintings, sold some sold some t-shirts, but believe it or not, the paintings seemed to be what everybody was attracted to more than the t-shirts and all this other stuff. So that's kind of how I got back into airbrushing. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't do this as a career. I'd love to. I would friggin' love to. But I don't do this as a career. I just do this to relax, for fun.
And it makes your wife happy.
And it makes my wife happy. Because she always likes seeing the twisted, weird stuff that comes out of my head. Don't ask me why. You'd think she wanted a divorce and for me to seek psychiatric counseling. But, you know, she makes her happy. Okay. Let's mix that up a little bit better. And again, we are using dark brown semi-opaque, which is really what I should have used last time. Really, really. And see, what I'm doing right now is you can see the design of the uterus through the stencil. And I'm going to follow that design and not put the roots everywhere. That way it looks a little bit more integrated with the picture itself. Alright, And reducer. And the thing with reducer to remember is you want enough reducer so that way the paint flows through the airbrush. And sometimes you can over reduce it to where it's real light paint, but at the same time don't. Yeah, see, that's not flowing because I didn't mix it up well enough. But at the same time, you don't want to over reduce it to where the air pressure is blowing out your paint. That causes a lot of problems. There we go. Wow, that flows really well. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on how much I'm pulling back the trigger because that's coming out a lot. This. Wow, yeah, that's actually nice and dark right there. Okay, still going along the path of the uterus and the tubes. We are going to fill in this top root, even though it doesn't 100% follow the path of the tubes and stuff, just because it kind of goes along the top. Okay. It's starting to blow the paint out just a little bit. Alright, let's see how that turned out. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, so that actually works pretty well. Alright, so let's fill it in a little bit. Oh, I didn't know, I was chasing a bead. Let's see if we can just add that in as part of the, we can, okay. Chasing a bead is when you get a bead of paint and you push it and it just kind of makes a splatter going across. You want to avoid that simply because it looks kind of horrible. And we kind of want it to look like it's wrapping around a little bit, so as you can see there. And again, I mean, there's a little bit of overspray. We'll go ahead and touch that up later. and we want it to kind of look like it's wrapping around. As you can see there, you might be able to see it, maybe not. There's a little bit of ghosting from the open areas of the vinyl or the stencil. That's okay. We will go ahead and once again touch that up later. Alright, and as you can see, we kind of have the roots wrapping around. That's really what we want here. That's kind of the picture I had in my head of this, is the roots wrapping around it, kind of, you know, being entangled in the uterus itself. I don't know. Honey, come here. What do you think?
That looks better.
I think that looks better too. Like a lot better. And we're gonna. Uh-oh. Dry it out a little bit. That's good. There we go. Dry it out a little bit. Just darken this up. Alright, I'm gonna be doing some really. Let's put that in, back that off just a little bit. Reduce the air just a little bit more. There we go. I think that should be good. Because as you can see here, I mean, this is putting out a lot of air. We just want to... Trigger control only does so much, unfortunately. You know, if I remember correctly, it was Bob Ross that said, "There is no such thing as mistakes, it's just happy little accidents." Ooh. That sounds like I'm getting quite a bit of, interference there. Let's see. There we go. That's not dry. That's not enough. Given we don't want to be chasing beads. Yep, it's getting clogged. Alright, let's take a second. Since we're doing this fine work, we gotta... When I say fine work, I'm talking about real delicate work. Just to clean the tip off. And kind of go from there. Just a little bit more air. There we go. Where's the bead at? plenty in there. There we go. Apparently it was clogged. Alright, so what I did here, and let me see if you can see it any better. If you can see here, there's some green over it, which kind of gives it a fading effect, which is good. But we still want like the bottom of the tree where it starts branching off to be darker. So that's kind of what we did, was we went ahead. Oh, okay, that's the screen. We went ahead and darkened this section a little bit. And of course we put these in. And then, but we let like the green overlap the outside shadows and go from there. And go back to that. Alright. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is the most realistic painting there is, by any stretch. I think we're done with the brown. By any stretch of the imagination. I want it to be primarily symbolism, but I also don't want it to be flat. That's the big thing. I don't want it to be flat. So, just kind of going from there. I'm gonna have to like download these from Twitch or YouTube and do like time-lapse videos of these. Oh, we gotta turn up the air. And if you're kind of curious how I'm cleaning these, I'm running airbrush cleaner through it, and then I'm backwashing it. Which backwashing, you take the paper towel, cover up the nozzle, kick back any dry paint that's actually in the tube, clean it out, or empty it out, and then go back through, put some more airbrush cleaner in it, and you've got this pot that kind of captures everything but filters out a lot of the chemicals and stuff like that. That's not bad. Okay, so the next thing, and I'm really hoping this doesn't kill my brush because it did last time, is I'm going to fill in that purple on the side. The reason why this is a problem is because these airbrushes have a lower opening size. It's either like a 0.2 or 0.5 millimeter, where like the sparklescent and pearlescent and all of those, the particulates can be up to like 0.5, 0.6, so it can cause some real issues spraying them through an airbrush instead of a paint gun. But this is what I've got, this is what I'm using, so this is what I'm going to do. If you watch last week's video of me painting, it was, or not last week, earlier this week's painting, or video of me painting, it was painful. Me trying to get the particulates through that other airbrush. I'm hoping this one should have a slightly bigger opening. I'm hoping this works better. You still got the kitten?
No.
Okay. Alex, come get her kitten.
Kitten's exploring the house.
Oh. Okay. Well, as long as it's not too much of an issue. Oh, come on. There we go. Actually, it doesn't seem like, it seems like it's coming out pretty well. Why does that not look right?
No more treats for you, little man. No food right here.
There we go. I think that's right. And if you're looking at this going, Glenn, or Dan, that's an awful lot of airbrush paint that's going down on that, you are absolutely correct. Because I am trying really hard to get a nice even coat. Because this is actually a sparklescent. So if you can get an even coat, it actually shows up so much better. Well, you can get a thick coat, let's put it that way. I'm not worried so much about an even coat as I am a thick coat. Let's put it that way. I mean, kind of the whole point is that when my wife goes through and coats these in resin, it'll have a wet look to it, and the sparkle will come out more. And I mean, of course, people like sparkly things, so. That doesn't look too bad at all, to be honest. I got some cleaning up to do, but it's not bad. Why is this fish eyeing? Better that I see it now, instead of before it goes on the canvas. Why is it fish eyeing on me? There we go. And one of the things I'm doing right now is I'm actually watching the wet edge. In the light. Did I get a dry tip? I think I did. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, I got a dry tip. Darn it. It's going so well. I may have most of it down. Yeah, wow, that completely dried out. Or clogged up, one of the two. No, that's not a dry tip. The sparkle's actually... Yeah, that's what I was worried about. The sparkle's actually clogging the paint, the airbrush. So, that's fine. That's fine. We got it down. And stuff like this is why back flushing is so important, because that'll actually get all of the sparkle that have accumulated around the tip and kick that out. Instead of trying to just force it through the really small hole that the paint comes out of. Right. Nice. Okay. And it just starts flowing regularly again. Nice. All right. Just do a little bit more. Okay, so it's starting. It's pretty much clear. All right, perfect. All right, and I don't know where that came. How did that happen? I don't know how that happened. Just a little random dot of pink. But that's okay. We're about to go back to white to clean it up real good. Actually, I think I want to do black first. The transparent black to give it a little bit of shading. Just like I'm layering the black here real well, and I mean you've got this black here that you can see the overspray on again, the white overspray. So you want to hit that up real good and just fix that. All right, so let's do just a touch of black. We're going with transparent jet black. And again, we're not going to add a lot because we're just going to be misting some spots. And paint's expensive, to put it mildly. So we're just going to put a little bit in there. Put a little bit more reducer to give it... I'm running out of reducer. I'm going to have to get my big bottle of reducer out and fix that. It's spitting. I don't think it's clean enough. I don't think I cleaned it out well enough from the sparklescent. Let me check it. Nope. Let's pull. Wow, yeah, that's a lot of sparkle that built up on that. Okay. Clean off the needle. Hopefully it's not in the barrel too much. Okay, that looks better. It's not spitting too much. It is a little bit. Yep, the sparklescents kind of screw everything up. But it's still a really nice, cool effect. I wanted to have it on there. Just a little bit of shadow. Then we'll clean up the sides. But let me do this. Let's take this off the edge. Oh. Come on. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Alright. So that's kind of the use of a freehand stencil. Is just going on along and making real hard edges. And I mean, part of the problem is if you keep going back and forth, just airbrushing, no hard edge, you're going to keep trying to cover up and keep overlapping the same thing. So, I mean, that's kind of the thing that we're trying to do. This is supposed to be a soft edge because it's not even like where something falls off. It's just a crease in the body. And that's what we wanted to go with. Alright, so we're going to let that dry. Clean this up really good again, especially since we're going from this to a white. Actually, make back flush again. All this black is probably going to be a pain to get out, but that's okay. Back flush some more. Alright, dump that. Alright, let's get it's not really clearing out real well. Wow, okay. What is going on? There we go. All right. Why does this thing spin? Oh, I see. It was loosening up the barrel as I was. Yikes. Okay. clean this. Oh, that looks good. This has got to be the... Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, that piece is pretty well clogged. Alright, give me 1 second, guys. I have to take this and clean this out really badly. Alright. I think that should just about do it. Well, no, there's still black. On the needle. Why is there black on the needle? That's a good question. Oh, because it didn't clean out properly. Okay, never mind. Stupid question. Alright, let's see. You know, I should know better. There we go. Let's clean that clog out. I should know better than to use this sparklescent stuff without the right air gun to do it with. But I keep not doing it right. Because I really don't want to take paintings out to my air compressor outside, the big one, to do them. So I'm just going to have to not use those unless I plan on doing that. Alright. Let's clean this part off. We should be good to go. part looks clean now. So we'll see. There we go. A little worried for a second there, but it's going good now. Alright. And is it this one? I think it's this one that has the wide. But that has no... Why doesn't that have a adapter on it? And this is the 0.2. I don't really want to use the 0.2 right now because we're just spraying. Well, you know what? Actually, maybe the 0.2 will work. Maybe. Really doesn't look like it. Sorry, I just realized I was spraying that directly at the mic. Probably not the best thing. Yeah, I'm a little sketchy on that one. I really am. So let's try a different one. I just don't want to. Oh, that would explain it. It wasn't touched right. Okay. Well, I am getting... Okay. I don't understand how that got there. I'm really confused on that. Just a little bit of reducer. Some reducer. Alright. Or not. Alright, what are you doing? Why are you not blowing paint? You're not blowing paint. Even a little bit. What happened? What happened there? Okay, so that one's not gonna work. I swear I just cleaned this one out. But whatever. I try this one. That one doesn't. Keep reaching for the same one. Because I like that one, but that one doesn't have an adapter on it. Just a bigger mess for me to clean up after we're done painting. It's okay. That is okay. Let's just go in here. Okay. There we go. Something that'll actually spray white. Spray white. Okay. Alright, so let's clean this up. Because your mom, I think, was trying to get me some cheap views by bringing El Gatito.
The cat.
Yes. Into the stream.
Did it work?
I don't think so.
Well, that's fine. Hey, what version of Vampire are you doing?
2.4.
2.4?
Yeah. Yep, still got that comment. Okay. How did that get there? It's not. There we go. I'll touch that back up with the black a little bit. I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was like a spot of purple just right there. I'm like, are you kidding? I'll just touch this back up with black in a little bit. So much better. So much better. I gotta touch this up with the black a little bit. I mean, other than that, that looks so much better. Okay. Actually get this one. Holy cow. Alright. I am fighting a lot with this edge. But I kind of saw that coming, to be honest. Just because I paint mostly with my right hand. I can paint with my left hand. But just instinctually I paint mostly with my right hand. Even though I'm left-handed. So it's like you're painting and the paint's all going this way instead of kind of laying flat or going to the right. It's actually working out quite well. It's not quite dry yet. That's relatively clean. That's relatively clean. Still got some white coming out of it. White and black are two of the hardest colors to get rid of. I think we're good. Okay. Alright, now we're going to do just a touch of black. This is regular black, right? Transparent black. Okay. Okay, so my stencil went where? There it is. And actually, this is a fire stencil that's used for doing fire. But as you can see, it kind of does hips pretty well. There we go. I actually think that looks... Kim. What do you think?
Looks good.
You like that?
Mm-hmm.
See, actually, it looks like they're kind of curving around. I like that. Alright, and luckily, it is just in time for 9, almost 10 o'clock, which was my planned cutoff time. 10 o'clock. So, I definitely hope everybody enjoyed, the stream and watching. And, I guess the whole Bob Ross's statement about there are no mistakes, just happy accidents. Because there were a couple mistakes on this, but I got straightened out pretty well. Wow, this thing's really clogged now. Wow, this thing's really clogged now. But that's okay. I will have all of this cleaned out and fixed up by Wednesday. Come on. There we go. One of these days I'm going to get myself some bottle brushes. The underfeed brushes. My wife likes them. They're good for laying down solid colors. Not so good for small condensed areas. But I mean, at the same time, I have seen people that are really good with them do some pretty fine lines and stuff, so it's just really hard to do.
Are all mine broke?
I don't know. But yours aren't really, even the ones that you got in that case, aren't really traditional underfeed airbrushes because they still have needles. The traditional underfeed airbrushes, it's no needle, it's just air flowing through and out. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of interested to get one of those just to see how well I could use it. Still showing black when I put more cleaner in it. But it's starting to flow again. So that's good.